and we want to understand now the mediation part in the model. So before that, before we go there, let me actually give you a very quick introduction to what is mediation and what is moderation and how would we actually understand the analyze the two models, right? So we have got this result. Uh, we have tested this path, and let us call these coefficients as A, B, and C dash. Now, what is mediation? And we are going to look at the mediation. So mediation is nothing but we try to assess how leadership impacts creativity, right? Impacts creative behavior. So in order to do this, we can actually write the equation of Pj as, let's say, some constant I1 plus A times leadership plus the regression residual of Pj. Similarly, Cb we can write as some constant I2 plus B times Pj plus C dash times leadership plus the error of Cb of the regression. If we combine these two equations, we can write Cb is equal to I2 times B times I1 plus A times L plus E times Pj plus C dash L plus E error of C. So if you open this equation up, you will get I2 plus B I1 is one constant plus AB plus C dash times L plus ECB plus B times EPJ, right? These are the residuals, random numbers. So the sum is going to be random. So we can write this as some constant I plus C times L plus E of CB, right? This is the error term, some error residual. So what is it that we are saying here? C is equal to C dash plus AB, right?
The last line, can you go back again, sir? CB, this one. How did you get CL here?
So I am replacing AB plus C dash. I am writing it as C, right? So C is equal to C dash plus AB. I'm just denoting C dash plus AB by the term C, right? So what does C here mean? C here represents the total effect of leadership on the total effect of leadership on CB. That means if I were to just regress CB and leadership, if this was my regression, I would have this path coefficient would have been called as C, the total path, the total effect of leadership on CB. But I have now brought in this mediator. This is my mediator, PJ. Okay, so what has the mediator done? Mediator has broken down this total effect into two parts, which is C dash plus AB. What is C dash? C dash is called as the direct effect of L on CB, and AB is called as the indirect effect of leadership on CB. That means the total, if you were to add C dash and AB, it will make C. That means if you just regressed CB on only one variable, L, the effect would have been C. But with the mediator, we now can understand it in two parts. One is the indirect effect, one is the direct effect. So a mediator, the role of mediation testing is essentially this. You actually can break this total effect into multiple parts, and you can understand what is the role of the mediator in determining how leadership impacts the outcome variable. Now, what is the test of mediation? The test of mediation is whether this A into B, the actual A into B, is equal to 0, the of the population, and of the population is not equal to 0. Mediation exists only and only if the indirect effect is non-zero. If the indirect effect is 0, there is no mediation, irrespective of what happens to C dash. Okay, in order to prove that there is mediation, you will have to prove that the product A into B is significant. Now, in order to do this, there are two tests. In order to test mediation, there are two kinds of tests. One is the Sobel's t-test. It is called as the Sobel's t-test. Sobel's t-test is computed as A into B that you have got from the analysis here, A into B, whole divided by A dot B divided by standard error of AB. And standard error of AB is written as root of A square into standard error of B square plus B square into standard error of A square, where A and B are unstandardized regression coefficients. Okay, so you need to prove, and with this t-test, this is distributed as t distribution with n minus k minus 1 degrees of freedom, and this t distribution, whatever you get, you must prove that the p-value is less than 0.05 in order to reject your null hypothesis that A into B is 0. And then if you reject this null hypothesis, you can prove that there is an indirect effect. Right? So indirect effects are modeled or theorized in research because you want to understand how does leadership impact. So we know leaders impact creativity, but by testing this mediation, I can show that, well, leaders impact creativity via impacting perceptions of procedural justice. So if there is perception of procedural justice, then those people would be indulging in greater creative behavior. They will be demonstrating greater creativity. And so therefore, whenever you will have this kind of a model, the software will always give you indirect, direct, and total effects. And total effects. Right? So that is why when we were doing AMOS, when we were running this model, if you remember, what did we do? We told the software in the analysis property, we had said clicked on indirect, direct, and total effects because we wanted to understand what is going to be the indirect effect. So indirect effect is very simple. It is just going to be A into B of the solution. So what is the estimate? A, if we were to report our solution, the A is equal to 0.547 and the standard error of A is 0.057, right? This is reported here. This is the estimate and standard error. Then what is B? B is procedural justice to creativity. So B is equal to the unstandardized coefficient is 0.100 and standard error of this is 0.041, right? So now what is going to be our indirect effect? And also let me write down the standardized coefficient. The standardized coefficient is 0.536, 0.536, and B standardized is 0.150. This is the B and this is A. Now if we are going to look at what is going to be our indirect effects, our indirect effects, the unstandardized indirect effect is going to be A into B, which is 0.547 multiplied with 0.1, which is going to be 0.0547, and the standardized indirect effect is going to be 0.536 multiplied with 0.150, right? So that is going to be 0.08004, right? So this is the indirect effect, but we have still not tested the significance of this indirect effect. We want to test the significance of this indirect effect. So there is a site, I'm going to send you the link.
1 second, sir. In the formula you have given is, you have not mentioned anywhere standardized effect. So why are we calculating?
So I was showing you this site. There is this site called as Quants site, okay? And this is the site that you can use to test, do Sobel's testing. Okay, so let me just, there's the chat. All of you can try this site, and in order to test this, what we will do is whether our indirect effect is significant or not, we will go and key in the values of our analysis. So we know in our analysis, we have got the A has come out to be 0.547. This is the unstandardized coefficient. B has come out to be 0.1. Standard error of A is 0.057 and standard error of B is 0.041. So if we calculate, we get the Sobel's T statistic as 2.36 and the p-value is less than 0.05. That means the indirect effect is significant here, and that PJ significantly mediates the relationship between leadership and creative behavior. Right? So this is how you can test the moderation, the mediation using the Sobel test computer, right? You just key in all these four. These are unstandardized coefficients, okay? And just put these here, and you will get this. These values are available from this output, AMOS output that we have got for the model.
So what when there are more than one mediator?